Hello everyone, it's Judy and welcome to Coffee, Cookies, and Books. Today what we're going to do is talk about my July TBR, and we're playing my TBR game that I created for the very first time. So super excited to bring that to you, and I hope you'll stick around. Wonderful to see you again. Can't wait to bring my new TBR game to you. Now, I am going to apologize. I filmed the game portion of it, and the way that I set it up didn't work really great. I had it like on a cushioned sofa, and I had the camera over it, and the camera kept shaking a little bit and couldn't get... Anyways, the video's not the greatest. I have tested a new idea for the next time around. So when we go to do August's video, it's going to be filmed completely different. In fact, I'm actually going to use my desk as a surface on the one side. And yeah, it's just going to come out so much better. And no shaky, because it was driving me crazy. When I went to edit through the video, I was like, oh yeah, this is not good. But anyways, outside of that, I think everything else is there. Now, for anybody who is not familiar with my new TBR game, it's called YAHTZIFIED. It's based on the premise of Yahtzee, and I will link the video below where I kind of went over the game and all the general rules for the game. I do talk a little bit about it as we go through and as we do our rolls. So you'll get to see all of that as we go through. So without further ado, what we're going to do is we're going to get started. Now, what we need to talk about first are the must-reads that I have, because I have a few must-reads. So from my must-reads, they are from all of the challenges that I have. So from my BuzzRead challenges, I only have one book that absolutely has to be read to keep me caught up on to July for both the reading and the cover challenge. And that is Godblind by Anna Stevens. I'm filming this and we're just over halfway through June. This is probably going to get read in June because I'm doing the Amazing Readathon, and one of the prompts is heavenly, that sort of thing. And of course, that's why I picked the word Godblind. That prompt has not come up yet. So the likelihood is this will get read, but I did want to just mention it just in case I don't, because I do have an alternative book, and it depends on how I feel when the prompt comes up. 100% depends on how I feel. So, both books are about 400 and some odd page books that I have that have the heavenly prompt on it. But we do also have the option to be able to skip a prompt. So there's always that. Anyways, so that's that. Now, if I do read this in June, then I'm going to add a third book, which I will explain in a minute, from my 25 must-reads in 2025. So I have two that are for sure, and then one will be the extra if this gets read in June. Hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, I think it does. Okay, so the two that are going to be my must-reads, the first one is My Roommate is a Vampire. So this is kind of like a cozy romantic comedy, paranormal, that sort of thing. I've had this on my TBR for quite some time, and I put it on my 25 must-reads for 2025. Real short book, and this one I had put in my June TBR as a possibility and didn't end up reading it. I read something else in its place. So what I'm going to do is this is going to be a must-read for June. Okay, then the other one that I didn't end up reading, I ended up reading one of the Dungeon Crawler Carl books, which I'm not surprised that I substituted that instead. And it had to do with a wacky cover. And this I thought was a over-the-top cover, but the Dungeon Crawler Carl ones are way over the top. And I just needed an excuse to read another one of those books. So this one is going to get read in July. instead. And this is the third book in the Expanse series, Abbadon's Gate by James S.A. Corey. So this one is an absolute for sure. Going to get read. Okay. So then the other one that's possible is the third book in the Natural series, All In by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I have read The Naturals, and I can't remember what the second book was, but the first two I read already. I don't want to leave it too long, so I put all of them in as a set for 2025, and so I would like to read this one. So if Godblind gets read before the end of June, this is going to go on my July. Okay, so that's going to go with the other two that we already talked about. So these three are 25 in my 25 for must reads for 2025. 20. I don't know why I can never say that. It's like totally tongue-tied all the time. Don't know. Anyways, yeah. So that's how it's going to go with those. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get on to the rolling the dice and starting our Yahtzee game. Okay, so we are going to do our 6 rolls for my first YAHTZIFIED TBR game. Now, hopefully, all we'll have to do is 6 rolls. 6 rolls is what we're going to start with. We'll pull from the cards after each roll. Obviously, try to fill as many spots as we can fill, and hopefully get our game completed. So here we go. We're going to go with roll number 1. And we've got 2 4s, so we'll go with that. And 3 4s, so we know we already have 3 4s up there. And that's what we're going to fill in. So we're going to fill our 3 4 space and pick a card. Okay, we're going to shuffle them up and pick. Top card says The Last Wish. So I believe that that is one of the Witcher series. So that is our first choice. Okay, so the first book that was chosen, The Last Wish. And this is the from the Witcher series by Andrzej Sapkowski. Andrzej Sapkowski. I do not know how to pronounce. I'm terrible at pronouncing names, but did my best on that one. And it's Geralt is a Witcher, a man whose magical powers, enhanced by long training and mysterious elixir, have made him a brilliant, merciless fighter. Yet he's no ordinary hunter. His sole purpose to destroy the monsters that plague the world. But not everything monstrous looking evil, and not everything fair is good. And in every fairy tale, there is a grain of truth. So this is the first book in the series. I do have a couple. I think I have the next 2 or 3. So super excited to get into reading this one. So I'm glad this one was the first one that was pulled. Next roll. We have 2 6s. Oh, let's hope we get another 6. We did not get another 6. So really early in the game, we have to go with our free roll down at the bottom. So we don't have to add another one. Go and pick a card. Again, shuffle them again. And do a pick. And this one is a book with a black cover. Okay, so that is our second choice. So the next pull was a black cover, which I have here. And I chose God of Malice by Rina Kent. I have never read any of her books, and I had this one on my shelf because I really wanted to try it. It's long, it's 500 pages, but the type is fairly spread out and large. Usually I find these books are kind of a quick read, But it is a dark romance, and it says, "Don't romanticize me or you'll be eaten alive." Or, yeah, I can read that first line, and it's like, oh boy, I want to really read that. So it says, Killian Carson is a predator wrapped in sophisticated charm. Glendon King has never felt like anyone's favorite. Her mother and brothers are the artistic talents in the family, and she knows she'll never live up to anyone's expectations. So those are our two main characters. So excited to get into this series. I really want to try it, and I thought this would be a good place to start. Even though I've heard this is not, the first book is not everyone's favorite, but you know, first book is your first impression, so you'll see how that one goes. On to next roll, third roll. What do we have here? Well, we have 3, 4, 5, which are 3 for small straight. So all we need is a 2 or a 6 to complete that roll. And we've got it, so we're going to go with a small straight on this one. Okay. And we'll shuffle our cards again. And split them up. And a thriller or horror. All right, our next one pulled is thriller or horror. And I chose One Perfect Couple by Ruth Ware. I have a few of Ruth Ware's books. Got them all from Book Outlet. It's a great way to just kind of grab, you know, random ones for super cheap and get to read them. So this was one of the ones that I managed to get. And this is the, I think this one's about a couple on vacation or something like that. Lala has hit a rut. Her postdoctoral research has fizzled out. She's pretty sure they won't extend her contract, and things with her boyfriend Nico, an aspiring actor, aren't going great. When the opportunity arises for Nico to join the cast of a new reality TV show, One Perfect Couple, she decides to try out with him. A whirlwind audition process later, Lila finds herself whisked off to a tropical paradise with Nico, boating through the Indian Ocean toward Ever After Island, where the two of them will compete against 4 other couples. But not long after they arrive on the deserted island, things start to go wrong. Sounds interesting. I mean, I know the reviews are kind of hit and miss, but I find that's a lot with thrillers, that, you know, the reviews can be, yeah, I liked it, no, I hated it. So I'm one of these people. They tend to be very middle of the road on a lot of them. For me, it's rare I get a 5-star from a thriller unless I really, really loved it. So we shall see, but I figure it's a good place to start. So that's the next one on the TBR. All right, roll 4. And we need 5, so 2 5s. Oh, and we got our 5, but we also got this, so that gives us a full house. So we will take that. Always trying to fill up the bottom first, as much as possible. And this. Okay, and split the deck. And it is most popular on my TBR. So that is the 4th one. So the next one that was pulled is most popular on the TBR. Okay, that one. Now, I went through a lot of different books. I had Fourth Wing. I had the Throne of Glass series. I have those all, but the one with the most ratings is A Court of Thorn and Roses, and I have not read it. Had almost 4 million ratings. Almost. I think Fourth Ring was at around 3 million mark. This had 1 million more. Of course, it's an older book, so it's had more time to collect more ratings. So, I mean, it kind of makes more sense. But on my TBR, this was the one with the most ratings. So, I don't know that I need to read the back, but we'll read a tiny bit of it. When 19-year-old huntress Ware kills a wolf in the woods, a terrifying creature arrives to demand retribution. Dragged to a treacherous magical land she knows about only from legends, Ware discovers that her captor is not truly a beast, but one of the lethal immortal fairies who once ruled her world. At least he's not a beast all the time. So, I thought that sounded good. You know, I have to say, though, ugliest covers ever. I do not like the covers on these books, but you know what? They're nice, floppy paperbacks, which I love. Makes it easier to read. Anyway, okay, so this one is the next one on the TBR. And roll 5. And what do we have? Well, we already have our 4s, but we do need 3 of a kind on a high roll, which is what 4s would be. So let's go with that. And we managed to get that. So that is 3 of a kind on a high roll. So our lows are 1s, 2s, or 3s, 3 of a kind. Highs are 4s, 5s, and 6s, just to make sure that you understand that rule. Okay. All right. Let's shuffle again. And split the deck. Where will we split it? We'll split it right there. And Finlay Donovan knocks him dead. So that's book 2 in that series. And the next one that was chosen is Finlay Donovan knocks him dead. Okay. And this is the second one in the series. I read the first one, I think, in May. Might have been May. Loved it so much, which is why I put it in the cards when I was creating the cards for the new TBR game. And I think I have all of the books in the series, except for the most recent one, because there's one more. There's another one coming out. So I don't have that one, obviously. That I think coming out in the fall. But I have all the other ones and really want to get to them, really want to read them. They're just a fun read. You know, for me, sometimes it's like you need a book that you just can't take all that seriously. And this is one of those kinds of books. And it's just a lot of fun. And the first one, I had so much fun with it. It was a 5-star read for me. So I don't know if they'll all be 5 stars, but it was just a fun read. And you know, sometimes it's like you have so much fun, you love it so much. And that was kind of how I felt about the first book. So we'll see how it goes with the second book. What is it said now? Finlay is a author. She was struggling with her novel. That was how the whole story kind of started in the first book. So I don't want to read too much on this one, but let's just say they kind of got out on one hole and they're going to go right into another one from the first book to the second book. I already know that going in. So that was next chosen on the TBR. And one last roll. And we need our 6s. We did not get it. So what that means is we have to add a roll and pick a book. So here we go. Another pick. And we're going to have one more roll again. Okay. That means 7 books are going to get picked. And this is one with a red cover. So, black cover and a red cover. How about that? Next one, picked, red cover. Okay. And I've had this one on my TBR for a little while. It is the Dagger in the Flame by Catherine Doyle. And this is a Book of the Month one. And I think it was from towards the end of last year when it came out, and I managed to pick it up. And I mean, it's, you know, it's gonna it looks long, but it's like a pretty easy read, I think, overall. So we'll give this one a try. What does it say in here? In the dark underbelly of a beautiful city, two rival gang members are pitted against each other in a deadly game of duty and revenge in which the most dangerous mistake is falling in love. So it sounds like a little bit like a kind of a Romeo and Juliet, which, I mean, if I'm being perfectly honest, God, I hate Romeo and Juliet stories. It's just, you know, but I think in essence, a lot of romances kind of have that in the background as an element. As long as it is a great story, then it's fine. I'm just not a huge Romeo and Juliet sort of fan. Although, you know, I mean, usually your two main characters don't die. So that's probably the one major difference. Anyways, so the Dagger and the Flame is the next one on the TBR. Okay, hopefully this is our last roll. Oh, and we got 3 of a kind right off the bat, but automatically we try to go for Yahtzees or for 4 of a kind. No, so let's do, because we can go here, 3 of a kind lows, or up here, but we'll take one more from the top. And this is the last pick to finish our game. Okay, split the deck, and 9th house. And ended up, normally it would be 6 rolls, which was what we did. But on the 6th roll, as you could see, I ended up having to take a 7th roll. And I ended up choosing 9th House by Leigh Bardugo, which is fine. You know, it's only going to be 10 books on the TBR, so I think that's a pretty easy read. So this is next on the list, and this is Welcome to the 9th House. Galaxy Alex Stern is the most unlikely member of Yale's freshman class, a dropout and the sole survivor of a horrific unsolved crime. Alex is hoping for a fresh start, but her free ride comes with a catch. She has been tasked with monitoring Yale's secret society's notorious haunts of the rich and powerful. Now there's a dead girl on campus, and Alex is the only person willing to look deeper because the societies are far more sinister and extraordinary than everyone imagined. You know, I think it's been a while since I read the back of that. I was like, this sounds really good. Okay, so I hope I enjoy it. It sounds like it's going to be a good one. And, you know, 7th one on the TBR. So that is the TBR for July. Now, I will list them all below so that you can see them all. And I don't think I'll have too much trouble getting through all those, getting through 10. These are my 10 physical reads. I don't do audio. Now, I do also read ebooks in conjunction, but I do not choose my ebooks. I just pick whatever I feel like. Usually a lot of my ebooks are either ARCs or they are from Kindle Unlimited. So, you know, whatever I have in there. And typically I'll read along with that around 5 or 6 ebooks as well, because those get read kind of in tandem when I'm not going to pick up the book, or in I'm in a situation where I can't have the book with me, then I'll read my ebook for at that time. So that's typically how I handle it. And yeah, so that's it for July. Now, as I said, hopefully we'll get the game filmed a little bit better and it'll look a little bit better for you, because, you know, I want it to look nice on the video. So, and I didn't like that video at all, but we got to make do with what we make do, because we had already picked everything. So didn't want to do it again. All right, so that's it for this video. And the next video is probably going to be my final reads for June. although I'm not sure if if we'll be at the end of June by the time I need to record my next one. So I may do maybe a book haul in between or something like that. Yeah, maybe that's what we'll do. And then we'll hold off on the June reads because the Amazing Readathon goes right to the end of June. So I have to read right up to then to fulfill all the prompts for June. So obviously I can't film my review until after that's done. So we'll probably do a book haul in between. I think that makes the most sense because I certainly do have a few books that I can show you for a haul. So that's it for today, and we will see you again soon.